All right, let's do a movie review. Let's Kill Ward's Wife. 2014 movie. And I don't know, the opening scene, it kind of like sets the tone immediately. I think that's what's really good about this movie. The opening scene lets you know what you're dealing with, like just immerses you immediately into the dynamic of this friend group. All right, you got like 3 couples and 1 single guy, and this is all big group of friends. And you're introduced immediately to Ward's wife and Ward, who is this, what's his name, Faison or whatever. Good actor. He's like my age and in fantastic shape and looks young as hell. And Ward's wife, she's terrible in every single possible way. She is like everything a man fears. You know, you knock up this woman, you get married to her, and she has a baby, and she goes nuts. Like crazy, evil, mean nuts. And you kind of understand why everyone dislikes her, hates her. You can even kind of understand why the guys would go golfing and have a conversation about, hey, you ever think about that? Like how to like get away with murder? How to get away with killing somebody? Let's discuss that. Let's discuss murdering Fred's wife, or Ward's wife. And you start to realize that, okay, you showed me Ward's wife like right off the bat, and she's just so terrible. But say then, like, you have this friend group, and one person is just so unbelievably obnoxious and terrible, and then you eliminate them, you kill them, all right? Then all of a sudden, all the other assholes start shining in the group. You know what I mean? And this is kind of what this movie is about. They discussed it. They didn't really want to, but she's just impossible. And eventually something happens and they kill Ward's wife. And what is the comedy of it? It's a comedy. The comedy of it is that there's all these little, this whole casuality of, murder and, getting rid of a body. Everyone's so casual about it, including Ward. He's like weirdly happy that his friends did him a favor. All right. But like I said, the worst of them all is out of the picture. And so now the worst of each of them is coming to light. And so you realize, like, holy cow, all these people are assholes. After all, what kind of person would marry a woman like that? What kind of friend group would have a friend like that? Oh, yeah, a bunch of stark raving assholes. And they are. And, even the wives get involved. Say, hey, can you watch the kids while we go cut up this body? Kind of thing. And it's just disturbingly casual about it. And, additionally, you see, like, these different moral reactions for each of the characters. It's like one of them has a real hard time with it. And, but the single guy, all right, he's the only one who doesn't have a wife and kids. All right, everyone else has a wife and kids. But he starts, like, not being able to deal with it. And in the beginning of the movie, you think he's the biggest douche of them all. And by the end of the movie, you're like, this is the only guy with even a shred of a conscience, And it's interesting because, like, for example, the wives, they start getting, how can I put this, sexually aroused when their husbands take charge, deal with the killing, deal with the body. And I think everyone knows that's true, right? It's like, why do, like, women love serial killers so much? Because it makes them hot. Serial killers make them hot. Why do serial killers make them hot? Because they're willing to kill anyone who gets in their way, And for a woman, it's like, oh, he takes care of business, regardless if it's right or not. It's like, if somebody pisses me off, I can go tell Charlie Manson about it, and Charlie Manson will take care of it. And so, I've seen it like when like 2 guys fight over a woman. The woman will be sitting there, she'll like, you know how wet I am right now? She uses a female voice, obviously. It turns them on. It really does. And I find that aspect of women to be disgusting. And I find kind of people who would murder somebody and get rid of their body to be pretty disgusting people. Just a real bouquet of assholes in this movie. And I like it. I like it for that, because there's a lot to laugh at when it comes to a real bouquet of assholes. And so it's, and then you start to realize, like, oh my God, these kids, when CPS needs to come get these kids, they're in a lot of trouble, because they're all these people are murderers and accessories to murder, and listen, it's not against the law to be an asshole, okay? And nobody deserves to die because they're an asshole. The problem here is that, the problem in this movie is that Ward never stood up to his wife, all right? And his friends never stood up to her, because she was like a truly awful person, especially in public. And you also see that they never really stand up to each other. And I think that's the point of the movie, is that you need to, solve these issues early before it gets to the point where you're murdering somebody's wife. You know what I mean? You need to get ahead of these problems, be a man and get ahead of it. You can't let your, wife berate you, well, just because she has just had a kid, 6 months ago, and everything you do is for her, and she's really terrible. But that doesn't mean she deserves to die. All right? That's the point. Anyway, let's kill Ward's wife. 8 of 13 stars. Yeah, I was thinking about, like, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, how they're all horrible people, but it's interesting how they interact, and you get to see, like, the little shreds of morality that each character has, and it's, I don't know, I find that kind of writing or, interesting, and I don't know, I think it's because most of the characters I write are fairly likable. I've never written something where everybody's a real douche.
The madman loves you all, from the big to the small.